Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and we're going to make another video talking about the hydraulics on this tractor. But it's about 20 degrees outside and snowing, so I'm going to hurry up and get the door shut, and then we'll get started. So hopefully no one is wondering why I need another video about my tractor hydraulics. But what I'm talking about today are issues that were brought up in previous videos that I need to kind of close the loop on. The first thing is with my hydraulic top link for the 3-point and an issue with that specific top link and what I'm going to do about it. The second is with the hydraulic pressure on the front end loader, or I guess it's really the hydraulic pressure for all the hydraulics on the tractor. And in my lift capacity video, when I was unable to lift the IBC totes of firewood, I mentioned that a final step, if I wasn't able to solve that lift capacity issue in other ways, that I was going to make sure that I wasn't on the low end of the hydraulic pressure. Turns out that I was able to get that lift capacity by switching to the mechanical self-leveling loader and by switching to lighter pallet forks. And now I move those IBC totes around without any problem. But I'm also mentioned in that video, and I've had several people ask me since then about checking that pressure anyway and talking about how it's adjusted. So that's going to be the second part of this. Now for the first part, like I just mentioned, is the hydraulic top link. Alright, so when I posted my first video on the hydraulic top link, I put links in the description to the cylinder that I ordered. Then I very quickly realized that there was an issue with the cylinder, and I went in and edited that and took the link out and added to the description, and I added to a pinned comment that I don't recommend this exact model of top link. Everything else I talked about in the video is still accurate, but it's this specific cylinder. And I'm ordering a new cylinder, and I'll do an update to that when I get my new cylinder. But the issue with this Amazon hydraulic top link, and it's listed as a compact tractor hydraulic top link, but the problem with it is the distance from this rod end here to the fat part of the cylinder is too short. So what that results in, on the back of your tractor you have kind of a C-shaped piece of metal sticking out the back that this slides into, or your regular top link slides into, and then the pin goes through. So if you put this against the cylinder, or if you put the cylinder against the back of the tractor, when you try to let it down, this part hits that cutout, and so it can't really set there. So what I did in the video was I turned it around, I put this into the tractor and this end out towards the implement, and I had the quick hitch on. But I had the exact same problem, that the fat part of the cylinder was bottoming out on the quick hitch. It wasn't a problem at halfway height or all the way down. And so when I was testing it out, I didn't notice it. On the quick hitch, the problem arises when you try to go all the way up. And it actually damaged the cylinder. You probably saw that when I held it up the first time. But right here, this bushing is busted out, and there's actually a bend or a stretch in this cylinder. Because the first time I tried to raise my bush hog all the way up, it bottomed out and kind of dug into the metal on the quick hitch. So if you're looking to get a hydraulic top link for your 2038R, I'm going to recommend the one that I'm ordering, which is on Green Parts Store, and I'm just using coupon code TTWT to get the 5% discount. There's also one available from Tractor Supply, but I don't have the part number or anything for it. But those are the two that I know work without having the issue that this one has. Now let's get to the fun part and see if my tractor has the proper hydraulic flow. You're supposed to have between 2,500 and 3,000 PSI. That seems to me like a pretty big range, really. And I think I'd rather run mine at 2,800 than 2,500, but I don't necessarily think I'd want to go up to 3,000. Now, I'm not having any issues with anything right now, so most likely I'm going to leave it alone. It's the kind of thing I wouldn't recommend you just randomly messing with. I think the best way to use this is for diagnostic and to make sure that you have the right amount of hydraulic pressure. Like I said, I got this from Ken's bolt-on hooks. It comes with everything you need. It's already got the correct fitting on, so it looks like it's going to be really simple to use. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Just going to cycle my hydraulics to relieve the pressure. Alright, so all I did there was unplug the dump and curl hoses and plug this gauge in to one of those. Now we'll go ahead and start it up. I'm going to turn the RPMs up around 2,000. Alright, so without having any idea of what my hydraulic pressure would be at, I said I'd like to have it at 2,800. And that's because you're just above the halfway point on the recommended range. You know, if you get too high, you can cause damage or leaks or any number of other problems. And, you know, if you get too low, you won't be able to lift enough. So I think middle or just above middle of the range is ideal. So had my pressure been 2,400 pounds or even 2,500 pounds, then I would have went to the hydraulic pressure relief valve, loosened it, and then you turn the set screw, tighten it back down, and that adjusts your pressure. But mine's right where it needs to be. I'm not having any issue with the tractor, so I'm going to consider this issue closed. In a future video, I'll show you the new hydraulic top link. And I had a couple of people ask me questions about the Stump Grinder, so I'm going to go ahead and show that too. So anytime someone comes on the comment section of one of my videos and asks me a specific question, I try to come back in a future video and give them the best answer I can. You know, I'm no expert on everything. I'm just sharing my experience, and by all of us sharing our experiences, we kind of learn together. And that's the case here, like with the hydraulic top link. I thought I did my research and I picked something that would be a good choice, and I was wrong. So I'm sharing that with you now. Alright, so in terms of the Stump Grinder, the main question I was getting is why I was only grinding in one direction. So for the most part, I would bring the grinding wheel down like this and sweep across the stump, come back and down and sweep across again. They said, why don't you grind, lower, grind, lower, grind? And looking at the design of the Stump Grinder, I don't think you're meant to do that. If you look here, this is a cutting tooth pointing straight down. This one is pointing mostly down, slightly to that side. This is mostly down, slightly to this side. What that says to me on first impression, and I hope I'm accurate here, but that says to me that these are for when you come across and then you're making your pass back. They just kind of clear out anything left behind. But on this, side, you've got, what is that, 3 or 4 inches, probably 4 inches, that the grinding teeth come up the wheel. And those can be used to cut from the side. Now let me show you the other side of the wheel. So when you look at this side of the wheel, here's the tooth I was just talking about that's primarily down, but also a little to this side. And then on the other side, all you have is the nuts and the back side of the tooth. So you pop that nut off and your tooth pulls out. So with this configuration, you cannot, from what I can see, you can't cut up here. You can remove a little bit of material as you come back across, but that's it. Alright, so like I said earlier, I'm no expert. I'm just sharing my journey as I try to upgrade this tractor and make it the most productive I can. And I just want to share what I learn as I learn it. And you know, I learn from the viewers' comments and you know, other YouTubers. So I hope you enjoyed the video. In a minute you'll see links right here to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.